Hi, Lisa Bennett here, workforcemillionaire.com. And today I am excited to interview Kristen Coffield. Kristen is an author, educator, and culinary disruptor who teaches purpose-driven humans how to create bodies they love that love them back. As the founder of theculinarycure.com, she simplifies health into doable daily habits that hold the key to enhanced wellness, disease prevention, and contribute to living younger, longer, and better. Kristen works with highly motivated clients to create intentional culinary habits and superpowers for living their best lives. Kristen is the author of How Healthy People Eat, an eater's guide to healthy habits. Her entry-level coaching program is the 30-day detox and reset. Welcome, Kristen.
Lisa, thank you so much for having me. I am so happy to be here, and I am so excited to share 3 powerful tips that anybody can use to take their wellness to the next level. And gosh, we all need that after the past year. I mean,
Absolutely.
You were talking about the frozen arm and the crick in the neck. And,
Right.
We've spent so much time kind of hunched over, trying to save social distance from the refrigerator. And now we're free again.
Right. With the
And
glowy
we're
screens in our faces and the glowy little screen in our faces. And yeah, for a long time.
Right. Everyone's got blue light blockers instead of sunglasses. But it's all good. And this gives us a wonderful opportunity to look at our habits and tweak them so that we can now do what we need to do to go to the next place, because we're done with this COVID lifestyle and we're ready to re-enter the world, and we want to look and feel our best. And what I always say is that, when we look at wellness from a really granular level, the benefits of doing wellness right is how you look. But that's just one of the many benefits, that you like the way you look. But the overall benefit that we go for is this resilient wellness. And after a year like this one, where never before has wellness been so much at the forefront of the news and our lives, this is the big picture goal here, is to develop this resilient wellness through these little daily habits that give us the body and brain that we deserve, that we need, so we can accomplish all of our audacious big picture goals.
Great. So I know there are some that I work hard at keeping, and one of them is my daily water. I'm told that ideally I would drink half my weight in ounces of water a day. That keeps me hydrated. I know it keeps the joints moving well, and it keeps everything flowing through my body, but man, that's a lot of water, Kristen.
Well, it sounds like a lot of water, but it's really not a lot of water. But here's how much water I say everybody should be shooting for. This is 100 ounces of water.
Wow.
I do not want anybody drinking 100 ounces of water at one time. So water is so important for so many reasons. And I'm just going to start kind of with my water tip from the way I want people to think about water. When we wake up in the morning, our body has been in fast mode when we're sleeping. So we're fasting. That's what breakfast is, break fast. So when we're asleep, our body, all of our major organs are going through a circadian rhythm. And that means each of our organs is detoxing at a particular assigned time. And of course, that's all screwed up because, we can stay up 24 hours a day now. We're not tied into daylight hours. So some people have really, challenged their circadian rhythms. But each of our major organs go through a detox. The spinal fluid comes up the spine and does a power wash on the brain, takes out the metabolic waste, and all of this metabolic waste ends up in our lymphatic system. So when we wake up in the morning, we want to help the lymphatic system detox a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, this is 10 ounces. Okay. So I love to show this to
Okay.
people. I'm like, this is 100 ounces.
Okay.
This is 10 ounces,
Okay.
not that big. Anybody can drink 10 ounces of water an hour for 10 hours a day. And the reason we want to do this is our bodies are between 60 to 80% water. Our muscles are 75% water. All of our major organs require water to function properly. Water is an essential nutrient. That means we can't make water. We have to get it from an external source. So that's either food or fluids. So water is crucial. We can't live without water. I think we can only go like 3 days without water. You can go, maybe 3 months without food if you're really in great shape. I don't know, but water, you don't want to mess around, right?
Right.
So when you wake up, this is what I do. So this is how I start the day. This is a 16 ounce, like British beer mug. It's
Okay.
nice heavy glass. I get my warm water, my warm lemon water set up the night before. So I've got one of these handy dandy lemon juicers. And the way that works is you take your half a lemon. Everybody should have one of these. You take your half a lemon, you put it in your juicer, you give it a squeeze, the juice goes in your cup, you fill your cup with water. I put it in the microwave the night before. So all I have to do is literally press the button. My warm lemon water, my lemon water heats up. And the reason that we like to add the lemon is lemon goes into our body acidic, but it turns alkaline inside the body.
Huh.
And we want to raise that alkalinity level and we want to dial down the acidity level. So even though lemons are acidic and they go in acid, they do turn alkaline in the body and they help us dial down that inflammation that is created when we have too much acidity in
So
our
did
bodies.
we become more acidic overnight while our body was detoxing? We became acidic?
No, we are acidic because the standard American diet lends itself towards that. Processed foods, refined carbohydrates, sugars, artificial ingredients. And I always say, just because there are chemicals in food doesn't make chemicals actually food. So there are a lot of things in our diet and our environment that lead to that high acidity. Eating a lot of meat is actually one of those. So eating more vegetables creates a more alkaline condition in the body. Eating more meats, processed foods, sugars, dairies, artificial ingredients leads to higher acidity.
I see.
So you can do lemon or lime. So you could even do maybe a little half a clementine if that was pleasing to you. But in Ayurvedic medicine, lemons are considered warming and limes are considered cooling. So if you run hot, you might want to do limes instead of lemons. And here's another tip. You want to use a metal or plastic or bamboo or glass straw because, like I said, the lemon goes in acidic. So you want to protect the enamel on your teeth. So now we know that it's super important to start each day with hydration. And then we want to be sipping our 10 ounces of water, 8 to 10 ounces of water an hour for 8 to 10 hours a day. And just keep the water with you so that you're sipping it. This is not that much water. And that way our body can use the water. Our organs can use the water. It can get, we can hydrate on a cellular level. It actually takes about 2 weeks to properly hydrate. So if you started doing this tomorrow, and let's say you just start drinking half your body weight in water or herbal tea throughout the day, that's a good start. But remember, you do want to work up to more, just if you want to optimize the water. Another thing about the water that's so exciting for most people is I love to call hydration the low-hanging fruit of wellness. when we get the hydration part right, it makes the eating part easier. So if we're even a little bit dehydrated, it affects our decision making. And that's every decision. That's decisions you're making in your business. It's how we react to people who know how to press our buttons, and it's decisions about the food we eat. So when you're even a little dehydrated, your body can't tell if you're hungry or thirsty. So it's going to be sending you some signals, and you might read that signal. If you're not properly hydrated, you might read that signal as eat a bag of chips, or grab a granola bar, or have a yogurt, or I need a double BLT for lunch. Whereas if you're properly hydrated, you're going to be more in tune with the signals from your body about what you should be eating and drinking. So I've got a couple more water tips, and the one that everybody always asks me about, and it's in my book, How Healthy People Eat, an Eater's Guide to Healthy Habits. Don't drink liquids with meals.
Oh.
And so people are like, what? I've been drinking water with meals, my whole life. Digestion begins in your mouth with chewing. So we are supposed to be chewing our food until it is mush, like 20 bites easy, okay? Most people take 3 bites, then they pick up their glass and they wash their food.
Right.
Right? We've all done it. And Lisa, now that I've said this, the next time you eat something, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, 20 bites is a lot. If you chew I guarantee you, if you chew each bite of food 20 times, you will be at an appropriate weight in no time.
I will also become a much slower eater.
You become a slower eater, which means you're chewing your food more, which means you're making it easier for your body to get those nutrients out of your food and get them into your cells where they need to go. You're going to stop eating when you're 80% full. Most of us eat until we feel full, but that's not the way we should be doing it. We should be slowing down, chewing our food, and then we'll be able to be like, I'm full. Maybe I've had enough, instead of eating quickly and overeating. Because when we overeat those extra calories, our body doesn't use them. It has to store them.
Right. And there's a trigger, a satiety trigger in our brain that doesn't register for something like 15 minutes, right? Like we're ahead of it. And when you're ahead of the curve, you're taking in too many calories, right?
Exactly. I mean, there's a whole host of problems that, around the actual process of eating. So slow down, chew your food, no liquids with meals, because when you wash your food down, you're diluting the digestive enzymes, you're swallowing food that's not properly broken down, and that leads to the production of acid in the stomach that now has to break down that food that you didn't properly break down. And that can lead to acid reflux and Barrett's esophagus and GERDs and all kinds of things. So this is a free tip. Anybody can do this. Slow down, chew your food, stop when you're 80% full.
So can we also talk about diuretics? I'm not sure that most people realize that when they're drinking caffeine, they're drinking a diuretic. Can you talk a little bit about what that does to our bodies?
Sure. And this is another important point about hydration. So caffeine is a diuretic, which means it helps our bodies get rid of extra fluids. So caffeine itself is not considered dehydrating, but because it's a diuretic, it can lead to more fluid loss. So for every caffeinated beverage or alcoholic beverage, I suggest people drink a glass of water to counterbalance that. And what we really want to do is we want to eat and drink appropriately. We want to put the right fuel in this engine. So people who are watching this are looking for doable hacks that they can apply right away, because all of these things we're talking about will boost your productivity. So when we're properly hydrated, when we're not dealing with reflux, And here's another eating tip. We're eating backwards. Most of us are not eating most of our calories in the first half of the day. We're eating them in the second half of the day. So the first half of the day is when we need calories for fuel to fuel this engine. If you're eating a big meal with a lot of calories at the end of the day, and then you're just going to sit in front of the TV or read a book or go to bed, your body is going to store those extra calories as fat.
Right.
And a lot of us are eating too late. So we're eating these big meals too late, and that's interrupting our sleep cycle. So I'm gonna go to the next two tips. So hydration being the first tip. Maybe I'll have a sip of water while I'm here.
She's a
So
serious water drinker.
I'm a big water drinker. And here's another tip. I really love to actually add liquid electrolytes to my water. And this helps us, the water we're drinking is dead. It's been processed. Most of us are drinking water that comes out of municipal processing plants. And so you can get these are in my, if you go to my website at The Culinary Cure, there's a bunch of recommended products that I have, water filters, all kinds of things in my Amazon store. I make about a nickel in my Amazon store. So I really just put them there for people's convenience.
So are you putting that in your entire 100 ounces or just first thing in the morning, or where does it work?
I put it in my water all day. I add a few drops to my water. So a serving size is a teaspoon. So I'm just putting a couple of drops in my water all day long. So you can boost your water, not only with lemons, but you can boost your water with electrolytes to get more benefits and really get that intercellular hydration that we're looking for. Because when we're well hydrated, it shows in our skin. We feel great, we sleep better, we seem to have less stress. Because can you imagine if the body's dehydrated, that is a form of stress on the body. We got enough stress. There is enough stress in the world right now. We don't need to add any more.
Right.
So my next tip is the first meal of the day. First meal of the day, just like we all heard as kids, is indeed the most important meal of the day. And many people are doing intermittent fasting. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting, and I can talk a little bit about that. But the first meal of the day, whatever time that is, so for me, it might be 7 a.m. I'm a very early riser. I get up at 4. So for me, I like to eat something at about 7 or 8. For somebody else, it might be 11:30. But what you eat in that first meal is so important. So you want the first meal of the day to contain 3 important ingredients: fiber, fat, and protein.
Okay.
So the standard American diet, we are missing so much fiber from our diet.
I didn't hear sugar in there anywhere. And there's no sugar in that list either.
No sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar. No sugar in your breakfast. In particular, if you're a woman, women should be super careful about sugar in all its forms. Yogurt, guess what? Lactose is milk sugar. Gluten, cereals, toast, all of these refined carbohydrates that turn into sugar in the body. Juice, nobody needs to be drinking juice. You should eat the fruit so you get all the benefits of that fruit. When we eat fruit, it comes attached with fiber, which slows down the absorption of that fruit sugar into our blood system. When we drink juice, it's as bad as drinking a cola. So breakfast should contain fiber, fat, and protein, no sugar. I mean, really, you can have fruit. Like, I'm not saying no fruit, but no added sugars if you can avoid it. So the first half of the day is actually the best time to be eating your fruit, because your body is going to use all those fruit sugars for fuel. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about fuel. We want to get fueled up. We want to have the energy. We want to have the mental clarity. And we want to get all those nutrients. And when we eat fruits and vegetables, they help us hydrate better because they are water dense. So think of breakfast, change the way you think about breakfast. So breakfast can look like anything. We are the only country in the world that eats all these baked goods, and anybody who thinks a bagel and cream cheese is a healthy breakfast, I'm sorry, I have to tell you, it's not. It's not.
No. But I did visit Denmark, and they do eat pastries for breakfast, and they're fresh. They're really good.
And you should eat them when you're in Denmark, because I'm sure it's all non-GMO.
Yeah,
and
right.
So
Right.
we've got an extra layer of complication. But for women in particular, if you start your day spiking your blood sugar, it creates a whole tornado of hormone responses. So, for women, we really want to balance that blood sugar to give ourselves that superpower, that we can bring to the office, or wherever we are taking our talents that day, so we can be the best version of ourselves. So I like to keep leftover salad and have that for breakfast. I love fermented slaws and krauts. I love half an avocado. I make a banana mug muffin. I've got all these wonderful recipes at theculinarycure.com, a great chia pudding recipe, all kinds of things that taste delicious but fuel you up so you're not craving sugar or other naughty noshes throughout the day.
Okay.
So this is really important that we start the day with fiber, fat, and protein, and that sets us up for productivity.
Okay, so lots of water during the day, 10 hours, 10 ounces an hour. And don't drink water as you're eating. Don't wash your food down. Chew your food thoroughly. And we are having a big healthy breakfast whenever that hour is for you.
Correct. With fiber, fat, and protein. Those are the key ingredients.
Okay.
And then the other really important thing, these are all hacks anybody can do. They can apply them right now. It doesn't cost. These are all free. It doesn't cost anything to do this stuff. So my other favorite hack is guard your sleep. So sleep is so important. It is when our body restores. It is when our body detoxes. It repairs itself. It's when our memories are made. So we need to really protect our sleep. Whoever was giving us all that messaging about, you can sleep when you're dead, burn the candle at both ends. Productive people, work 24/7, and wrong. No, absolutely not. Sleep is a superpower. And all of the things we're talking about here today are practices. So the more we practice them, the better we get. And I mean, you and I could talk all day. I mean, I could just keep going.
Yes,
We could
I would
talk
love
about
to talk to you all day, Kristen.
and all this good stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about sleep, because so many people struggle with it, and especially during COVID, and especially during these stressful times.
What a beautiful sleep mask.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is
actually.
I thought I had one here.
Our daughter got married last Saturday, and the wedding planner sent me a really pretty little gift pack, and I was in the market for a new sleep mask. So there you go. And let me tell you my best tips to help you sleep better. And of course, all this information is going to be in your freebie download. I have a gift for everybody, and
Nice.
Lisa's got the link to it. You want your room to be cool, dark, and quiet. And for a lot of us, that's a challenge. So my husband and I moved into a new condo in the middle of COVID. We downsized by half, moved into a new condo, and we're living in town, and there's a lot more ambient light. So even with the darkening shades, there's light coming in around the corners. When our eyes are closed, we actually see light through the eyelids. So it's really important, if you're light sensitive, to get a nice satin eye mask and just train yourself to sleep with it. You will have better sleep. So cool, dark, and quiet. What does cool mean? 62, 63 degrees. So really nice and chilly. We sleep better with that. Quiet. I'm telling you, I love these foam earplugs. Now I have little ears, so I trim them so that they fit more comfortably, but foam earplugs, trust me, you'll still be able to hear a screaming child or a snoring husband, but they just take the edge off. They kind of, like, I put my earplugs in and I'm like, shop's closed, you know. Done for
Okay.
the day. So earplugs, and of course I am such a sleeping beauty. I've got the eye mask, the earplugs, the mouth guard in, but I'm sleeping great.
I have an eye
And
guard too, yeah. But isn't it also really important for us to get off of our devices hours before we go to bed? Because
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
okay.
So here's another hack. Magnesium glycinate.
Mhm.
And most of us are magnesium deficient. It is one of the nutrients we do not get enough of because we are not eating enough dark leafy greens. Not only that, the soil that most of our plants is being grown in is nutrient depleted. So that's where the nutrients in our fruits and vegetables come from. They come from the soil. So taking a magnesium supplement before bed, 400 to 800 milligrams of magnesium glycinate will do wonders. It will help your muscles relax, and your brain's a muscle. So it helps us just kind of relax a little more. It gives us a nutrient that we need, that we don't have enough of, and it makes our sleep a little bit deeper.
Would it help me
Now,
to not get leg cramps at night if I took that before I went to bed? I get a lot of leg
it
cramps.
probably.
Okay.
And then magnesium is one of my favorite supplements. So I also take magnesium glycinate in the morning, and this is the magnesium that helps us focus a little bit. So I actually put this powder in my water in the morning.
Oh.
So magnesium is your friend, and it doesn't interact with anything. So if you're taking medication, there's nothing to worry about. It's really basically a food.
Okay.
But what are the habits that we all have that are just stealing our sleep from us? And you brought up one of them. We need to get off our devices an hour before we go to bed. Okay. So no computer screens, no TV screens, no devices. And if you have a TV in your bedroom, I'm sorry to say this, but your bedroom is for two things: sleep and sex. So if you've got a TV in your bedroom and you're watching a lot of TV in there, it's probably something you want to think about. That TV could be ruining both of those things for you. So think about relocating the TV. So getting off your screens, wearing blue light blockers. This is really important. And even when we're watching television. So if you're in front of any screen for long periods of time, get yourself a nice pair of blue light blockers and wear them while you're having screen time. That blue light lights up the neurons in our brain, and it makes it very hard for us to get the restorative rest that we need.
And that includes your phone?
And then
the phone has blue light
I mean, a lot of people are lying in bed. Just get off your phone. This is an addiction. You know, this is designed to be addictive. So have healthy phone hygiene. Put your phone to bed. Really, unless you're a doctor on emergency call, you can turn your phone off. You've got your family members on, your special list. So if your phone's on sleep, you'll still hear it ringing if one of them calls, and give yourself a break mentally. And all the social media just kind of jacks us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're really looking. All the things I'm talking about today are lifestyle habits that anybody can do. They're not complicated or hard or expensive, but when you start to do them, it changes everything, because our goal is to build this resilient wellness. And that means, there might be another pandemic, or something might happen, and you want to be in the best health possible, so that if you need medical treatment, you're going to respond well. You want to stay strong and healthy, because we want to live younger, longer, and better. We want to be productive at work. We don't want to be plagued with stress. We don't want to be wakeful at night. So these are some simple lifestyle things. Nobody's been asked to really give up anything unless you've been eating a lot of sugary breakfast foods, in which case, get off that sugar. Sugar is addictive. It's the most highly addictive substance on the planet, which is why manufacturers put it in all their food, because they know if they put it in there, you'll eat more of it. And there's even added sugar in much of the commercial wine out there. So
really, is it on the label? Really?
No, because the label on a bottle, wine is regulated by tobacco, alcohol, and firearms, not the FDA. So there's nothing on the label that tells you what's in it. There are actually 250 allowable additives that winemakers can use to make their wine delicious. And I actually carry clean, natural wine on my website, because so many people were asking me, what's the healthiest wine to drink? Like, what wine goes with a healthy lifestyle? And I was so shocked by what I found about wine. And anybody who knows about the Environmental Working Group, that's a consumer advocacy group here in Washington, D.C., and they come out with a list every year called the Dirty Dozen list. And that's the dozen fruits and vegetables that are grown with the most pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides and fertilizers.
Yes, that
always at the top of that list is grapes.
And strawberries too. I mean, now we can get organic strawberries, but they get sprayed and it gets into all those little tiny pores that have the little seeds in them, and it's so hard to get all the pesticides out of them that they're dangerous. Don't ever pop one in your mouth at the grocery store. I saw a guy doing that one day. They weren't organic. No. I told him what the story was with strawberries, and he felt a little ill. So yeah, there's definitely try for organic foods. So what I'm hearing, a little underlying statement they're not quite saying, is we have a lot of addictive liquids in our lives, a lot of addictive foods in our lives, and addictive equipment in our lives. And to live our longest, healthiest, youngest lives, we're going to get ourselves into healthy habits and out of the addictive habits.
Exactly. And much of this information has been lost over, how to eat. We all remember being told by parents and grandparents, some eating tips. So we can relearn these behaviors. And when we do, it helps us build these bodies that we love, that love us back. So that's what my book is all. My book is actually really fun. If anybody's interested, it's really colorful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful book, Kristen. Thank you for creating that. It is a beautiful book. Thank you.
So just trying to save the world one bite at a time.
Good job. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And let me share here the gift you have for our people. So this is Kristen's contact information. She is KristenCoffieldVideo@gmail.com. Her website is theculinarycure.com. Instagram is @KristenCoffield. And her gift to everybody today is her Healthy Habits 101. Would you like to talk? Is what we covered today in your Healthy Habits 101?
It is covered in that. And what I love about this gift is it comes with recipes. There's some recipes, and it's all the things we talked about today and more. And for people who are ready to invest in themselves a little more, this gives you a really great starting point with lots of free information about what you can be doing to build a better body so that you can live your best life. And that's really my goal, is to help people learn how to harness the power on the end of their fork and make it work for them, not against them.
Thank you. That sounds wonderful. Is that chia pudding recipe in there? That sounds intriguing to me.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And my chili powder chicken thighs, which everybody refers to as crack chicken thighs because they are so tasty, delicious, and easy to make. that, you know, people are like, oh my God, that's so good. So
Yummy.
yes,
All
it's a
right.
great gift. And
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you for having this. I think people are ready for this information, all the wonderful speakers that you've pulled together, and it's just an honor to be a part of this summit.
Well, I appreciate your time and thank you for making it simple, Kristen. These are things that everybody can do. This isn't hard and it's not expensive. They don't have to buy any special programs to do this. And you have a beautiful book that's also available for sale. So thank you for your time and for your energy and for helping the world one fork at a time.